Yo, what is going on, and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about the Gravastar M2 and all my thoughts and opinions around this mouse and if I think it's worth picking up over everything else. So first I want to say that Gravastar did send me this mouse for review. That doesn't in any way, shape, or form affect my opinion of this mouse, and I'll try to be as open, as honest as I possibly can when covering it. So let's get started. So I genuinely don't even know where to start when it comes to this mouse. I have a hard time struggling to find anything good to talk about, especially when it comes to like just the mouse itself, the price point, the materials, the weight, the shape, the whole design. I have a really hard time trying to figure out what I could possibly say about this mouse to be like, yeah, it's not that bad. So I'm just going to get started. The shape is probably one of the worst shapes I've ever used in my life. And when I say one of, I mean it is legitimately the most uncomfortable mouse that's ever touched my hand ever. It took around 2.5 weeks for me to figure out how to comfortably hold the mouse. And its design choices, its curves just don't make sense. It's like someone with no arms, eyes, legs, or body parts, just a thing that exists, that an entity made the mouse. And I know that's like the whole Gravastar thing is being like alien based, but we're humans. Someone has had to have actually tried to use the mouse. So I want to try and say how the shape compares, but it's a very unique new shape, and that's not a good thing for this mouse because it feels like you're holding the mouse backwards. So if you look at it from top, or if you look at it from the side POV, you can see it's a center hump mouse, but it has this really weird kind of like roll off towards the back. And when you look at the mouse from the bottom, it's very narrow in the back and wide towards the front. The sides kind of concave inwards in the middle of the mouse. So it's not like a standard mouse where they have a roll off going down. It's like there's a divot in the middle of the mouse that leaves you two ledges to play on. So you have to play at either the top of the mouse where there's tiny ridges, or you play at the bottom of the mouse where your fingers are pretty much scratching across mouse pads. And then, not to mention the side button placement. So I don't use side buttons, right? But I don't understand why they put the side buttons in this really weird, awkward angle where realistically you're going to be having to move your thumb a lot more to use than any other mouse, which just positions them a little bit further up where the hand is actually going to be playing. So for me personally, I just couldn't actually use the mouse in game. It was just incredibly uncomfortable. And I even tried using it as a work mouse, just like everyday office, and it was just too uncomfortable. It caused so much pinky pain that I felt the sharp shooting up my entire arm. Next, I want to talk about the weight of the mouse. It is around I think 86 grams or 85, something like that. It's a really heavy mouse, which I don't mind the weight being heavier. I don't mind it weighing more. But if you're going to make a mouse weigh almost 100 grams, at least have it be ergonomic. Like with the G703 being 95 grams, fantastic mouse, and I don't mind using it because it's a comfortable mouse to hold. Same thing with the G502. Same thing with the FK. Same thing with the EC, the S2. Like all these really heavy mice are comfortable. This mouse isn't. It does come with $33.95. The 1K performance isn't terrible at all. It's actually pretty good. A lot better than I was expecting coming from a manufacturer who makes wall bricks and speakers. But just, I feel like them trying to go out their way to do this really cool alien design, they really missed the mark with having a mouse that's comfortable to hold and easy to use. The clicks on it feel 100% fine. I personally didn't like them. They had this really weird sticky feeling, like the Zippies from G-Wolves. If you ever use those, they feel very similar to Zippies. The click design is very bad in my opinion. There's almost no comfort grooves. It does come with these grips, but these grips are more like anti-grips. They don't really do anything. They're just kind of there for looks. It is using a magnesium alloy outer shell. It's using a magnesium alloy exoskeleton, and it's using a plastic internal which actually houses all the internals of the mouse. So if I were to take this mouse apart, you'd be able to see that inside is this little little thing. The thing that's glowing, it's just like a little hat, like a little oval with the components in it. And it's just, that's why it's so heavy. I don't know. Just not much about the mouse makes sense. And I actually feel bad because Gravastar sent this out to me, or Gravastar reached out to me to send this, and I accepted it because I thought it'd be like a cool little, like the shape looked kind of interesting. But being forced to use this mouse has been one of the worst. This has been one of the worst decisions I've ever made in my life. Like, agreeing to use this mouse is a nightmare. I genuinely don't get it. But yeah, I think that's going to be it. This wasn't really a review, just more of a rant on why you shouldn't buy the Gravastar M1 or M2. The M2 or the M1 I think has like 4K or 1K, but it doesn't make it any better. I see a lot of people shilling the mouse on Twitter saying that it's not that bad, but I genuinely don't believe someone with human hands can look at this mouse, touch it, hold it, and say this is a comfortable mouse to hold. And even with it being magnesium, I feel like I can like crush the magnesium bars. Like, this is absurd. Like now granted, I'm relatively strong, but I can flex the bars on this, and I don't think that's good for magnesium. I don't know. I'm not talking about the mouse. Thank you for watching this video. Like if you did, subscribe if you want to see more. Don't buy the Gravastar M1 or M2, even at $80 or $100. This is probably one of the worst mice I've ever used in my life.